Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving deep into a story that's rocking South African politics. Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, has come under fire after showing a rare display of emotion during a national television interview. Many are interpreting this as a sign of weakness, especially as the party faces internal struggles and increasing pressure from rival political groups. In this video, we will break down what this emotional outburst means for Malema's leadership and what the future holds for the EFF. The incident occurred during a televised interview where Malema, usually known for his fiery rhetoric and unapologetic leadership style, became visibly upset while discussing two significant developments within his party. First, the departure of EFF Deputy President Floyd Shivambu, and second, the prolonged silence of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, the former spokesperson of the EFF. Ndlozi, once known as one of the most charismatic and popular leaders of the party, has distanced himself from Malema, raising questions about the unity of the EFF. Malema's emotional reaction, which included tears and a sense of vulnerability, has drawn mixed reactions across the political spectrum. Critics argue that this kind of display is unbecoming of a leader of Malema's stature, especially when the party is facing significant challenges. Leaders are expected to demonstrate strength, not tears, said a prominent political analyst, adding that Malema's outburst only plays into the hands of his opponents, particularly the MK party, Umkhonto we Sizwe, a political formation that is making inroads among disillusioned voters. In recent months, Malema's leadership has been increasingly questioned, not just by external political opponents but also within the EFF itself. The party, which has long positioned itself as a fierce challenger to the ANC, has faced growing divisions. Key figures like Shivambu and Ndlozi, both of whom were integral to the EFF's rise, have now either left or distanced themselves from Malema. This has led to a growing sense of unease within the party, with some members questioning whether Malema can maintain his hold over the organization and continue to rally support for the EFF in the run-up to the 2024 elections. Malema's critics argue that his emotional outburst signals a deeper crisis within the party. Many believe that leaders should remain composed and firm, especially in the face of adversity. Seeing Malema break down on national television only reinforces the idea that the EFF is in disarray. With a new political challenge in the form of the MKP, closely linked to former ANC members, Malema's leadership is now under intense scrutiny. The emotional moment captured on national television did not sit well with many in the political establishment. Crying on national TV doesn't project the image of a strong, determined leader, one commentator stated. It makes Malema appear vulnerable, and in politics, vulnerability can be exploited by opponents. There is a growing concern that Malema's emotional transparency might give the opposition a narrative to latch onto. While it's true that some see his emotions as a sign of authenticity and vulnerability, others argue that it exposes a lack of control and leadership under pressure. But is Malema's outburst truly a sign of weakness, or is it simply a moment of human vulnerability? Malema has always been known for his unapologetic and often aggressive rhetoric, so this softer side was unexpected for many of his supporters and detractors alike. Some analysts believe that the pressure Malema is facing, both from within his party and from external political forces, may have gotten to him. His emotional display could be a sign that he's struggling with the internal turmoil in the EFF, and the recent departures of key figures like Shivambu and Ndlozi could have made him feel isolated and unsure of the party's future. The bigger question here is not just about Malema's emotional reaction but about what it means for the future of the EFF. The party has already been losing some of its most prominent leaders. Shivambu's departure, the expected, has sent shockwaves through the party, and Ndlozi's potential exit only adds to the instability. If Malema can manage to keep his party united, the EFF may struggle to remain a viable contender in the upcoming elections. Without the credibility and intellectual appeal that figures like Ndlozi brought to the table, the EFF risks losing its status as a credible opposition force. However, the fallout within the EFF is just part of the larger picture. The emergence of the MKP, a political party with deep roots in the legacy of the ANC's armed wing, could pose a real threat to the EFF. While the MKP doesn't yet have the same political reach as the EFF or ANC, its association with former ANC members gives it significant historical and symbolic weight. If Ndlozi does indeed leave the EFF to join the MKP, his presence could help revive the party and attract a younger, more progressive base of voters, potentially shaking up the political landscape in South Africa. The MKP has always been seen as a smaller party, but with Ndlozi's charisma and mass appeal, it could find a new lease of life. His involvement would give the MKP much-needed intellectual credibility and could attract those voters disillusioned with the status quo. For the EFF, losing someone like Ndlozi would be a major blow, not just to its leadership but to its public image. As one political analyst put it, Ndlozi is the EFF's intellectual force. Without him, the party risks losing the intellectual credibility that has been a cornerstone of its appeal. There are also questions about the future of the EFF and Malema's leadership. Will Malema be able to bounce back from this emotional display and regain control of the party? Or is this the beginning of the end for the EFF as a united political force? With elections fast approaching, the stakes could not be higher. Malema will need to prove that he can weather the storm and reassert his authority if the EFF is to maintain its position as a strong opposition party. So, what does this all mean? Is Malema's emotional outburst just a moment of vulnerability, or does it signal deeper cracks within the EFF? If Ndlozi does leave, how will this affect the party's chances in the upcoming elections? And what will his role be if he joins the MKP? These are the questions that we will be following closely in the coming weeks. But we want to hear from you. Do you think Malema's emotional reaction was a sign of weakness, or do you think it was simply a human moment of vulnerability? What impact do you think the potential departures of Shivambu and Ndlozi will have on the EFF? And how do you think the MKP will fare if Ndlozi joins their ranks? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us bring you more in-depth stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.